What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome back into JC's Pop Culture. All right, Coach Archetypes. In EA Sports College Football 25, we are introducing a new archetype-based coach ability system. You can think of this similar to your traditional RPG classes. So that's what I was talking about with the new coach tree. It's pretty similar to an RPG where all of your party members have a specific class or archetype and a role. Ultimately, in order for your team to be successful, all of the players in your party must do their job and work together. Our system is no different. All coaches will start with the base class or coach archetype, which can be thought of as your special ability in a traditional RPG. Just like our real life coaches, the base archetypes fall into three categories: recruiting, motivation, and scheme. From your base archetype, you can progress in multiple ways. You can become an expert in a single category, like recruiting, where you become an elite recruiter and excel on the trail. Alternatively, you could become a hybrid coach who is strong in multiple areas. For example, a talent developer who is great at both talent acquisition, which is recruiting, and player development, which kind of falls under motivation. The ultimate goal is to become a program builder or CEO atop the world of college football. Achieving an elite archetype like program builder or CEO is a combination of on-field success and ability progression. There is no single formula to reach these statuses. So you want to become a program builder or you want to become a CEO, but no path is going to be the same. There's plenty of different ways to get there, is what it's saying. You'll be able to mix and match different ability combinations and progression paths, leading to strong customization. In total, there are 11 different archetypes, each with their own focuses and perks. Together, they form a rock, paper, and scissors relationship where there's no dominant archetype. While there is no doubt that talent acquisition is the most important thing in college football, focusing solely on recruiting could leave you vulnerable in other areas. Remember, no coach can be great at everything. Every decision you make on your coaching journey matters. Once you purchase an ability, there's no going back, as you not be able to respec your coach. So that's interesting. Previous games, you could reset your coaching skill tree in the offseason if you want to do it differently. Sounds like that's not the case anymore. Your choices are kind of finalized, and you got to live with them moving forward. There's the screen that they showed in the video where you get the ability to select your backstory. We talked about that a little bit. How do I upgrade my archetype and what does it do? Each archetype has a set of prerequisites and objectives that must be completed in order to purchase them. For example, in order to become an elite recruiter, you must spend 50 coach points in the recruiter archetype and sign 2 top 5 recruiting classes. Once these goals are complete, the archetype becomes available for purchase with coach points. So some of these archetypes aren't even going to be unlocked until you accomplish certain goals. When creating your coach, you will select which base archetype you want to start with. The other 2 base archetypes will then be available for purchase with coach points without the need to meet any additional requirements. So regardless of which archetype you choose to start, you can purchase, either one of the other 2 at some point once you get enough of your coach points there and you don't have any additional requirements to get those. Purchasing an archetype with coach points unlocks new sets of abilities as well as new opportunities in the carousel. More on that in a bit. Additionally, each archetype has a perk when it is active. For example, Tactician has the winner perk, which allows additional coach XP every time you win a game. Your active archetype is automatically determined. If you own the program builder or CEO archetypes, they will always be your active archetypes, regardless of how many coach points you've spent in other archetypes. Obviously, because that's a goal that everyone's trying to get to, is to be a program builder or a CEO. If you do not own these archetypes, your active archetype is the archetype you have spent the most coach points in. So really the one that you're focusing on the most upgrading is kind of going to be the one that's active. All owned coach abilities are always on, regardless of which archetype is active. Your progress can be viewed in the coach abilities screen, which is accessible from the coach tab. Yet again, that coach tab in the Dynasty Hub. Within the screen, you can see all the available archetypes, their unlock requirements and perks, and your overall progression in each archetype. As you spend coach points in each archetype, the spider graph in the center of the screen will morph and change to show your coach's DNA. That's this little yellow thing in the middle here. And, as you upgrade each one, it's going to stretch out towards that area, which kind of forms this web in the middle of however you tend to focus it. And I feel like I've said the word archetype 46 million times, by the way. Michael Mueller, you can see he's a CEO, so he's probably a high level here, up in level 30, and has reached the CEO archetype. All right, how do the coach abilities work? Once you own an archetype, you can purchase the ability within it using coach points. In College Football 25, they're introducing more than 50 coach abilities. That's awesome. That's a new addition. Each ability can have up to 4 tiers, and every tier has a purchase cost associated with it. So that's kind of what we highlighted there in the video, was those abilities. Where the one we were showing on in the video was like a passing game quarterback or whatever, and had the different tiers, and we highlighted that. Every archetype, with the exception of Scheme Guru, Program Builder, and CEO, has their abilities broken down by position group. This increases the level of depth and specialization each coach has. That's cool. So maybe you're more of a running program. So, your abilities that you're going to focus on first is probably your running backs and your offensive line, versus your more pass heavy team. You're probably going to focus on, your quarterbacks and your receivers, building those up first. No longer is the coach great at recruiting across the board. Now coaches will specialize in specific position groups, making your staff composition that much more important. Are you a quarterback whisperer? Are you great in the trenches and committed to the no-fly zone? How does your staff complement you? So do you want to add staff members that are also good at what you're good at, just making you, really great at that? Or do you want to hire coordinators that kind of have strengths and maybe your head coach weakness spots to kind of make you more well-rounded? In addition to position-based boosts, there are coach abilities with core gameplay effects so you can really cook. For example, the Scheme Guru archetype focuses on your gameplay style. If you're a coach who likes to play fast, you can upgrade fast tempo offense, providing you with the following boosts. Oh, hell yeah. Battery Pack, which offensive players fatigue slower and hurry up at tier 1. Caught napping, increase delay to defenders looking to the sideline at the snap in tier 2, and then tier 3 being on their heels. Team composure boost for first down gains while running hurry up, and tipped your hand tier 4, chance to see the defense's cover shell even in hurry up. Oh, I'm all on that fast tempo shit. I love running no huddle. It's the old Rich Rod days of West Virginia in me. You can also make your team a well-oiled machine who doesn't work against themselves and is unfazed by rowdy home field crowds by upgrading the discipline/communication ability. On offense, this provides hater blockers at tier 1, a slight reduction in crowd noise and impact on the road. Teflon at tier 2, significant reduction of crowd noise impact on the road. Polished is tier 3, offensive players will commit slightly fewer penalties. And clean sheet offense at tier 4, offensive players will commit significantly fewer penalties. Of course, balance is critical. It's critically important here. So there are defensive counters to all of the offensive play style abilities, which is good as well. So, the defense is going to have their upgrades to be able to match these abilities as well and kind of counteract some of these things. Is your defense looking a little sus, or are you tired of getting punched in the mouth by physical ground and pound? Upgrade your ground and pound defense to become a stout run defense and reduce the effects of a physical offense continually running the ball. The program builder and CEO archetypes are different in that they are only available to head coaches. Kind of expected that. The abilities within them are diverse and range from roster management and program culture to home field advantage and recruiting pipeline boosts. And you see a look here at someone that's a recruiting coach, and you see some of their abilities here. The one that they have highlighted right here is running game. And you see, of course, that affects halfback and fullback. You get tier 1 as your advanced look. Running backs take less time to fully scout. Most influential recruiting actions give a bonus to running backs. Always be recruiting at tier 3. Increase your weekly recruiting hours allowed to distribute to running backs, and increase starting interest from running backs at tier 4. And you see this bottom part is unlocked. So he only has access to these 8 abilities, but to get to these 8, he has to sign 2 top 5 recruiting classes. It unlocks the elite recruiter status, and he unlocks 8 more abilities that have 4 different tiers each. Having said that, guys, until there's more info on this game, I'll be back to talk about it then. But appreciate you guys tuning into this one, and I will catch you on the next one.